What is going on, everybody? We are back. You see it. It's Ron in the building with my guy Die Hard Eru. Welcome to another episode of the wrap up on the front stoop. Shout out to Simeon Russell once again for allowing us to be on his platform. We appreciate you, brother, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about hip hop and what's going on in today's landscape. Yes. First off, Eru, have you heard about the beef between Kendrick Lamar and the rapper known as Drake?
I've heard about it, but I'm vegetarian, man, so I don't do the beef. I do the Beyond Beef sometimes, the Beyond Meat and stuff. But I know what's going on. It's we'll talk about it. I'll let you throw the alley oops, and I'll just lay them in.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. As you know, hip hop looks like it's been revitalized a little bit with the nature of this battle between two very accomplished MCs. It's very rare that you see this happen. Some people take it for granted because we live in that type of society. It's like whatever these days. But a battle between a guy at Drake's level and someone at Kendrick's level is actually very special. It is basically like Jay-Z going up against Nas for their class. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that it's been really interesting just to kind of watch how it's all played out. You started it off. Well, some people say, I mean, it started before this. There's been sneak disses for years between Drake and Kendrick. The history, I think a lot of people already know. But the bottom line is, Drake had a lot of success underground. He popped off, and then he had his acclaimed debut album. And he was able to go out and promote and do tours and stuff. And so there was a young Kendrick Lamar who was just up on the scene. He had his music out, and Drake kind of reached out to him and asked him if he'd like to be, one of the people that he brings on tour with him. And that's how they met. And that tour was their first interaction. Apparently it went really well. So fast forward, Drake seems to be the type of artist that creates friendships. I don't want to say friendships, creates relationships within the industry, and then those industry relationships translate to work, right? He will do something like that. And I'm not saying that that's his ulterior motive or his agenda, but if he does look out or does help out, there might be a situation later down the line where you can return the favor. I might need help with this, or we might be able to work together. And so Kendrick and Drake did work together again. And they worked together a couple times, actually. My favorite is what's the clean version of that song with ASAP Rocky? I'm like, I don't know. Is there a clean version? Effing Problems. That's a banger. They did great on that. So, but they had a good relationship, and it looked like they, two MCs on the rise. And you know, who knows what was gonna happen. But they live different lifestyles. And so Kendrick is a different type of person. Maybe he's into, hangs out with different people. He's into a little bit of wokeness, as they like to say, in touch with his spirituality. And he just is a different person. And then Drake, Drake is the certified lover boy, partier, the dude that make you dance, the dude that wants to sing to you and steal your girl, but he's just a different type of guy, right?
Mhm.
So eventually those two dynamics, instead of, you know, uh getting better acquainted as friends, they kind of drifted apart a little bit. They kind of went in different directions, and they get their own set of friends that works better for whatever they do. They're still cool though. But sneak this has started to happen because with any, and this doesn't start, I'm trying to just give everybody a little bit of a idea. This doesn't start with necessarily Drake and or Kendrick. This starts with other people, right? There's other people that are like, oh yeah, they like Kendrick, and yeah, 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 they make a little quick joke about Drake, and maybe Kendrick laughs at it, and then Drake hears it. Oh, you was laughing, huh? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And vice versa. Maybe there's some things that Drake might have said in regards to Kendrick, and things get back to people. But I do know that stuff like that was happening, right? And then came the Control verse. You guys remember the Control song when Kendrick was cooking everybody and basically letting them know, like, look, that was, and this stuff has been done. If you guys remember 50 Cent, a song called How to Rob,
Right.
we've seen this, right? It's a formula. Let me go at everybody in the industry, let y'all know that I'm here and I think I'm right there with you, if not better than y'all. It's just what people do. Kendrick did the same thing. He meant no malice, no beef behind it. He's just telling everybody, I'm nice and I'm gonna be right there with you. And if you don't stay on your square, I'm gonna take it. So I like it. I thought that was great. And everybody else who was involved with it thought the same thing because he was coming at a lot of different people. They took it as sport. Okay, all right. Then they started writing rhymes and going right back at him. Drake took it a little different. Drake felt a little differently about this, folks.
Right.
Drake felt like maybe Kendrick was coming at him in a different way, and he was like, "Yo, I thought we was cool." You can't change somebody's perception of how they see things, and unfortunately, Drake felt differently about it. He didn't look at it just like a competition. He looked at it a little bit more personal, which kind of says, if you guys want to get into your psychology bag, Drake saw Kendrick as more of a friend than Kendrick saw Drake. All right. So anyway, that being said, that's kind of what started the real beef. Drake didn't like that controlled diss. He thought it was kind of aimed towards him. Oh, there's two, but he thought he didn't like the way it is. He took it out of context, and then it he started doing and saying things in interviews, and then came sneak disses. And then Kendrick's like, "What the hell? What's going on?" Okay, sneak disses, and that went on forever. And then we got to first person shooter with Drake and J. Cole, where it's not necessarily this is happening, but what was happening was people, basically saying who they are in the game. Drake spitting his bars and J. Cole spitting his bars and talking about the big three, Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. And because Kendrick already had a bad taste in his mouth about Drake, and he's a competitive dude, he decided that I'm going to come back in a song called Like That, with Metro Boomin on the beats, with our guy Future. And he said, there's no big three, it's just big me. And that is officially the kickoff of the current beef. It's where it started, and it's just precipitated since then, and it's gone crazy. This is probably, and this is what I want to get Eru's take on it before we go any further. This might be one of the greatest things to happen to hip hop in a long time, bro. Because I don't know, like some people are spoiled because they want everything to happen, like overnight, sensationalized, like this. Yeah, this don't happen that way. Even in the beefs that I grew up on, dudes don't come right back at you. Maybe you get a diss record, and then maybe a few days later, a week later, you get a diss record coming back. But we're talking this record coming back 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then boom, 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 rapid fire, bro. So I thought this was incredible. Some people didn't like it because they didn't like the way in which the battle was carried out. But I thought, like, once you start to look deeper into it, and people, you go to the smart kids that know all this stuff, and they start to explain to you, oh, that's what he meant. Oh, that's who he's talking about. Oh, then it starts to look like, oh, these guys are clever. Anyway, what's your thoughts on this thing? At this point.
Well, you did the whole blueprint, so I mean, this happened before. This happened before in hip hop. You can go back as far as like Big Daddy Kane and the Rakim and that type of thing. They didn't have a beef per se. They never had a battle or whatever, but there always been like little sneak stuff, or like say not necessarily sneak stuff, but say like a guy might use the same studio or whatever, steal studio time, that type of thing. That they used to do. Shout out to guys like LL Cool J. LL Cool J is a master sneak dissing, but nobody ever came for LL except for cannabis. LL talked about I effed Mo D, Hammer, and Ice T's girl, like just like dying for somebody to come at him. But it goes so crazy. It's so many different beats throughout history. KRS-One is the main one. You were talking about how like I thought we were cool type of thing, but then you say something, and when it comes to content creating, they say like we have everybody got group chats, but sometimes you get into these group chats and you start arguing with people. So wait a second, I'm a podcaster, man. Let's set up a pod right now. Let's just hash it out on the pod. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you with in no group chat. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
how we give it up. So I think that's what happened with this Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing. They're talking. So one guy's saying one thing, one guy's saying another thing. I'm hearing things, and then you're gonna do a sneak diss to me on a major record. So you know what? Bam, let me just hit you with this and see what the temperature is. And I like it, man. It's good for hip hop. Not for nothing. Hip hop, like the foundation of it, has been battling since the inception of hip hop. So one thing that I didn't really like about what's happening now is that people don't get that. They say, "Oh, why they picking on this guy? Why they picking on?" Especially when what's the name? J. Cole tapped out of it. People were
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, man, why are they fighting for it? It's so corny." But like the essence of hip hop has always been about competition. It doesn't have
Right.
to get into like to the point where guys are shooting at each other. It doesn't have to be like that. It could just be because that's what it used to be. Just because Biggie and Tupac happened and guys lost their life over it. Now things have become to this point where things can get like that. Shout out to like you mentioned 50 Cent. Shout out to the beef that he had with the game. They actually lost lives in that beef also that nobody talks about. People in their crews have, actually, whatever, man. It doesn't like the point I'm trying to say, it doesn't have to get to that point. It could just go back and forth with the rap. So I appreciate it. It's somebody like me that loves hip hop. I love the art of it all. For just to see them going at it like that is
Mhm.
good. And just the clever way to go about it too, man. I don't know if you're gonna get into like each song or whatever, but the first one was just like sneak this, and then Kendrick was like, "Pow, let me hit you with this." And then,
Mhm.
Drake did his thing, and then Kendrick said, "Okay, well, you know what? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your son. Let me talk to your sister. Let me do that." He did it in such a way where it was depressing, but you thinking about it, it's like, yo, this guy is crazy. The level of creativity and how far you would go, when it comes to the rap thing. So I think it's dope. I'm with you. I think it's good for hip hop. We needed it. I think. Because
Yeah.
you want to talk about like hip hop is dead. That's a big conversation too. Hip hop is dead. Oh, I'm too old for that. Shout out to Andre 3000. Oh, I'm gonna start playing the flute because I'm too old for this type of stuff. So when this happens, like it should inspire people to pick up the pen again. So that's what I'm hoping. And we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that it is definitely, oh my god, it came at the right time because hip hop has been a little bit in question, for a little while now. We gotta look, there's been hip hop has been saved because the 50th anniversary, last year helped a lot. It was huge to kind of revitalize and kind of get people back into to hip hop again. But once
People gotta be
once that go
reminded, right? People
right,
gotta be
right, you got to
reminded.
be reminded. But once that starts to die down, once the festivals and the concerts, and there's still a few here and there, but a lot of that's died down because it's a new year. Then you go back into the malaise again. Like, what's out there? What are we listening to? And people get frustrated. They get depressed at the current state of hip hop, and not only just the current state of hip hop, but even the people that you think can come into the hip hop game again and help revitalize it. Sometimes their approach, they get lost in the sauce too. They're too worried about trying to fit what they think is the approach for today's hip hop, as opposed to just making good music. Like,
Right.
if it's good music, it's gonna be good music. Maybe some people might say, "Oh, that style is different. Like, we don't really do that. Like, oh, that's so that those songs don't have a lot of bass. They don't got the 808s. They don't got the bump. We can't really dance to that as much." But if it's a fire beat and there's bars behind it, that's hip hop. I'm not saying every song should be like that, but there should be a nice balance between what's real hip hop and then being able to shake your booty on the dance floor. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there needs to be that happy medium, and I think sometimes it gets lost. Um,
There's no respect either, I forgot who it was it 21 Savage where he made that comment that Nas is not relevant? Stuff like that. The guys got to stay away from those type of conversations because you're killing your own self. You're basically shooting yourself in the foot by saying by coming out with like a major artist that's like still putting out great music. He put out 6 albums, man, straight fire, all 6 of them, and you're gonna say, oh, he's not relevant. You're just shooting yourself in the foot because when it's your turn, because you're young, you're the young person, whatever, 21 Savage. Soon 21 Savage is gonna be 41 Savage, you know what I'm saying? And he's gonna be looking for somebody to listen to his music at that age, you know what I'm saying? So, beefs like I said, beefs like this remind you of what's important because now it drew attention to the music again. It got people talking about it. That's the major thing, you know what I'm saying? So, and listening to people's artwork, getting back into like I was saying, like the creativity of how they went about it. It's interesting, man. To see where it is, where the top MCs, Kendrick and Drake, how they're going to attack the other person. Because like say like LL Cool J. I mean not LL Cool J. Cannabis when he hit LL Cool J, he said, "I'm gonna let the world know the truth." The way that he came at him, and then the
mhm.
way LL came back at him. It just shows you what's happening at the time. So when these two major guys went at it, it's just interesting, man. It just brings it back to the essence of things.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Not just for us. We're here trying to put on a show for you, but also to show love to our guy Simeon Russell. This is his channel. He's allowing us to be here and have be on his platform and have this show. So shout out to him, and that would be a great great thing if you just smash that like button, show him some love. Um, Shout out to Paul Mehir. I think that's how you say that. I apologize if that's supposed to be pronounced differently, but shout out to you. Daniel Berry Sports in the building once again. Appreciate you. Brandon Howard is here. Salute. George Jones. Gary Richards in the building. Thank you guys for being here. King Imbert is here. Salute. What's good? Diamond Onyx is in the building. Salute. Thank you guys for being here and chopping it up. Let me see what some of you guys have to say before we go a little further. So Paul's like, who gives an F? Stop giving pop rap shine. Commercial rap gets the gun clap, as OGC said. BDP for life. Oh, okay. All right. I hear you.
Listen,
Um,
listen. You want to talk about irrelevance? Nobody knows who the hell OGC is, man. We do, but the
we
average
do.
person in hip hop don't know who the hell OGC is. Who's OGC? OGC is like a C level rap group from our era. You know what I'm saying? Talking about original gun clappers. Nobody knows who the hell they are. You know what I'm saying? But you can't put comments like that in a thing like this if not everybody knows who the hell you're talking about. If like somebody young, even if somebody our age will not readily know who the hell OGC is. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So I
Like
mean,
I hear where he's coming from, because that
right,
is like in his mind and where he grew up on. That's the essence of hip hop, right?
right.
Anything that sounds different from that, what is it? Like, I mean, if it's new wave and it sounds better, it takes it to another level. That's one thing. But if it sounds like some bubblegum stuff, yeah, you ain't really checking for it. I get where you're coming from, Paul.
Right.
But the whole thing is to what Iru's saying is like, it's a different time frame, a different style, and different, things are different. Things have changed. Like
Yeah,
there's no more OGCs, and there's no more BDPs right now. It's the Drakes, it's the Kendricks, it's the J. Cole's, it's
but
the Big Sean's.
here's the
So
thing too. What's commercial rap though? Because commercial rap, you're talking about radio, and you're talking about commercials. You know that pay the radio to put on a certain amount of people on the radio. But we're in 2024. We're not in 1994. We're in 2024, where there is no commercial rap like that, like how we used to. People still listen to the radio. I get it, but like when it comes to commercial rap, it's just things are a little bit different now. Underground hip hop and all this other stuff. Like what is underground today? Back in the days, underground used to be pirate radio, used to be mixtapes and stuff like that. What's underground radio now when everybody has a cell phone? Everybody has a cell phone backed by commercials, backed by whatever, the algorithms and all the stuff that goes on there. So what exactly is commercial rap nowadays? If in my opinion, with that conversation when people start talking about commercial rap, the only reason why I'm bringing it up because there's been a few comments here, people are talking about this here, the rap stuff, the commercial rap stuff. The underground is just nowadays in 2024 is just the ability to do something other than just mindless scrolling. That's what people
mhm,
do. Commercial rap is mindless scrolling. You know what I'm saying? That's what people do. The same songs that keep playing, those are the people that they're scrolling through their phone. What's underground hip hop? Actually, looking for rap and going down rabbit holes and stuff like that instead of just mindlessly scrolling. So just
yeah.
gotta context, man. Context and staying relevant and what's happening with the technology and stuff. It's just not 1994. So that's all I really wanted to say about that, really.
And my whole thing is, look, one thing that I can say, I mean, we could talk a little bit about the context of the songs real quick, and then we could also say where we see the battle, where it went. You know what I mean? But I also want to say that this battle has also shown a lot, right? It has shown. Listen, Drake has been on top of the game for a long time, y'all. Long time. He is like the biggest selling hip hop artist of all time. He has the most number one hits of any hip hop artist ever. Now, I do know that a lot of that is there's a mixture of hip hop and there's a mixture of other levels of musicality. He likes to sing and put people in yeah, I get it. But it still happened and he's still able to do it. What I will say about Drake, until someone can prove to me that he can't write any raps, I'm still gonna rock with the fact that the guy has a pen and he can spit. He's got bars, right? And if you want to say that he's used ghostwriters in the past, and he may not be a true MC, that's fine. Okay, I could rock with that. But I'm not going to take away the fact that he is a MC of some sort and that he does have some bars that he comes up with on his own. Because I say that because other people right now, Drake is in a weird space where a lot of people don't like him. Maybe because he's on top, maybe because he's a little cocky. I really don't think it's about that. I think Drake has money. I think he's been on top. I think he is a little cocky, but a lot of MCs or a lot of celebrities are cocky. It's the fact that Drake is Mr. Steal Your Girl. And he's done that to a lot of people and the stuff that we don't know about that I'm sure he's been a part of, like, and I think that's rubbed some people the wrong way. Even so, the current whatever the so-called snipers, because Drake is a sniper. You guys know what a sniper is. He's basically the guy who'll steal your girl. He's one of those. He's out there, and so there's a lot of guys like that. And even some of the people he knows are like that. But even that has levels. When you're a so-called sniper and you meet King Sniper, even he will try to steal your girl. Like it's crazy. So I think that he's rubbed people the wrong way for different reasons, right? And because of that, he doesn't got a lot of people coming to his defense anymore. Before, when the Ghost Rider stuff came out, it was like, okay, yes, he did use a Ghost Rider for certain things, right? Because he's a busy guy. He has so much going on. He's doing shows, he's doing different stuff. He's got this album he's working on. He's doing all this stuff he had going on. And so some MCs knew about it and they understood it because like he's really busy. He's got this stuff going on. And sometimes you get a little bit of help or inspiration from other people. That's fine. But what around that time, Other guys would come out. Rick Ross was one of them. Other people were saying, no, I've seen Drake write. I've seen him. We've been cooking it up. I've seen him put pen to paper, and he's come up with some fire bars. So it's one of those. Does he need to use a ghostwriter? No. But does he do it for convenience? Yeah, probably. Whatever. That was then. I'm not talking about now because more stuff is coming out and more stuff is surfacing. I still think that Drake has a pen. I still think he can deliver bars, but if he's using ghostwriters more now than ever before, that's not good. But okay, I just wanted to throw that out there because I feel like people disrespect him as someone who can spit and can write down stuff just because he might have used a ghostwriter in the past. I don't know if he still does, but once you get some type of stigma on you, it follows you no matter where you go. That's it.
Well, the thing with Drake to me, man, it's just that you know, I call my I joke around. I'm like Captain Hip Hop. There's a certain thing. We joke about it sometimes. But like when Drake came out, when he did that, when he did those mixtapes and stuff like that, I immediately did not like it at all. I didn't like his mixtape, the mixtape run that he had. And then when he came out with the you the effing best, you the effing best ever had, best ever. I was just like, yo, what is this noise to me? To me, it's always been noise. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward to now, it's been a long time now. We're talking about like he's how long Drake is, can you say 20 years? It's almost he been like rapping for that long? Like
Yeah,
15,
about
15 years or
about
so?
yeah.
So like he's always been this way. He's always been like a kind of like a culture vulture type of thing. The Degrassi years and all this other stuff, and then just like all of a sudden now we got the beard, and then the N word starts coming out often, and then now we got these hardcore sounding songs and whatever. So who is the fault for Drake to be at this level? Say where now we have to talk about him and whether he writes and stuff like that. That's all to me. That's all hating shit to me. Like if he puts the music out, the music is out. You know what I'm saying? You was messing with him in the mixtape days. Did he have a ghostwriter then? Now all of a sudden, now that he's up top, oh, he has a ghostwriter. That's why this, that, and the other. All right, that might be all fine and dandy, man. But like the fans are the ones that put him in the spot that he is now. So now that you crowned him the king, now all these years, now you can't take shots at him. Now you're the one that put him there. Same thing like Jay-Z, like, oh, Jay-Z is irrelevant now, or whatever. Okay, that might be the case, man. But for like however summers, 8 summers, 6 summers, he was holding it down, and you can't deny that he was. Same like Drake. Drake has been holding it down every summer, and you guys are buying his stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can't once the guy's up top, you can't crown him irrelevant or crown him this or he didn't really have. Was he even the best rapper during those times? All that is garbage, man. People put these guys in these positions, and don't get mad now when these guys are at the top, and now all of a sudden you want to talk. To me, it's just lame to me. Like just to throw LL Cool J out for instance, LL Cool J, people always wanted to get at LL Cool J because he's not that good, this and the other. But then LL Cool J comes out with hit after hit after hit after hit after hit every summer, out dope albums, that come out. And he writes, and then he throws out sneak disses all the time, but nobody attacks him because nobody wants beef with LL Cool J because LL Cool J is going to go left on you. He's proven it a couple times throughout history. So I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, you kind of just rambling about it, man. But just to hear to see the people talking about like, you know, the stuff that they're talking about when it comes to him and stuff. It's just like it's annoying to
It
me. Just
it's a little ridiculous. Like people have to, you can have an opinion about it. You may not like certain things, but you can't take away someone's accomplishments. You can't take away the fact that the dude has been the best at what he's done for a number of years. Like it didn't happen overnight. It took him a Let me tell you something. That's another thing about Drake. I'm just giving him the credit he deserves for what he deserves. Now, going forward, you may hear me say some other stuff about Drake as things go along. I mean, who knows what's going on with this guy? He's got some stuff in his closet that we don't know about. Who knows? But I'm talking about right now, musicality for what he's done until I find out something else. Drake, I remember hearing about Drake when I was young about how you got to hear this guy Drake. He's got all these different mixtapes and stuff, and he's on the college circuit.
college
Like
circuit, right?
college, he was going everywhere at colleges, and they love Drake. This is before he got put on. That helped him get put on. Like he's worked. He's put in the time. And it was smart.
Underground. He was underground at the time, so it's just weird.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't take away the guy's hustle, his effort, and his business acumen for getting stuff done. I wouldn't take away any of that stuff. So I just wanted to address this stuff real quick so we can move on, just so for future reference. It stinks when people throw stones and then hide their hands. So like, we already addressed Paul, and he decided to bounce. That's on him. Cool. I mean, probably for the best, because if you're not here for the show, then why are you here? Right. But that doesn't bother me. There's people that are not going to like what you do, not going to like what you say, your content, or whatever it may be, or not like the fact that we're just talking about somebody.
And
So
this
I
is
can't,
not
we
even
can't.
nothing but Knicks. This is the front stoop. So this is a hip hop channel. So it's like, what the
Thank you. So that was what I was going to get to. So then you got this other guy, Brandon Howard, who wants to come on here and say that he, wish we kept this basketball, and that, don't come with the DJ Vlad BS. Knicks are one game from the Eastern Conference Finals, blah, blah, blah. And then also dudes are getting killed behind all this foolishness. You should know better than to promote foolery. And Sim shouldn't let you use his platform for this garbage. You can hurt the brand. It's called Nothing But Knicks. That's why I subscribed. Well, it obviously shows a lot about you and your wherewithal, because this is not Nothing But Knicks. This is the front stoop. It clearly says the front stoop when you go on your YouTube, and you can see
It's
that
just
this
this
is the front.
mindless scrolling. Just looking at the
I'm like,
phone,
what
just
are we
scrolling.
doing here?
You know?
This We're not talking about basketball. This is a hit. This is a hip hop station. What are we doing?
Yeah, man.
Okay, whatever. Nothing But Knicks has nothing to do with this. This two separate channels. Anyway, and you could also tell, I don't know who you are, I don't know where you are. If you see this later, I hope you do. You can't just blindly say something when you don't know the context. First off, the shooting that happened at Drake's mansion apparently was not related to anything having to do with a beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Apparently, there's another type of thing going on that has nothing to do with this rap beef, but it's a different type of beef, because the same thing that happened to Drake's bodyguard happened to the Weeknd's bodyguard a week earlier at his mansion. Are you going to tell me that don't have a correlation? This has nothing to do with that beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. But you don't look like the type of person that does a lot of research and pays attention to details, like clicking on the front stoop instead of Nothing But Knicks. But whatever. Okay, I'm done with that. Anyway,
Yeah, it is what it is. Like when it comes to beef, just like when the initial reaction with some people was like, I don't know why they're doing this, and then saying the other, like, it's 2024, can't we just be, hip hop has always been competition. It's like somebody writing rhymes. I wrote it a certain way. Okay, well, I think I'm better than you. I'm gonna write some stuff or whatever, and then people say, yo, let's oh, who you think will win in a battle, Rakim or Big Daddy Kane? It's always been that way. Like even further back, Cold Crush versus the Rocksteady gang or whatever, back in the days. So I mean, but the rap always used to be just hip hop, the music. I got my crew. He's gonna rap, we're just gonna go back and forth and let the crowd figure out who won. And you would do it like that. The DJs control it. You know what I'm saying? So, now things are different. The DJs are not really controlling things the way they used to. The internet is now. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? So, it is what it is. Like, people just need to like get back to the music and just enjoy what's happening. Everything doesn't always have to be like this life and death situation. Oh, he said this about you. Oh, is he gonna come back at him? Oh, don't talk about it because they're gonna start shooting. Like, it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
no
like,
no other genre has that issue in music.
you shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. This is and first off, one of the main people in this beef is Kendrick Lamar, who understands that hip hop is a sport. You know what I mean? That you can go out there and spit bars for a purpose, just to incite your fellow peers so that they can come back with more bars. It's a friendly competition. That's what the Control verse was for him. And when he went at Drake, Yes, was he a little upset about the sneak this that Drake has been doing? And did he want to separate himself and let everybody know it's no big three, it's big me. So I'm the guy? Yeah. But it's still competition. It's still not guns, it's about bars. So
Right.
I think people, don't get too crazy. Unfortunately, that beef between Biggie and Tupac kind of clouded everybody. They think everything has got to go that way, and it's not the case.
Yeah, the media kind of built that up, made that worse than it needed to be. And also Tupac was also extra at the time too. He was definitely
Right.
had
Right.
a
He
had
he
a big
played
part.
into it.
Yeah. Shout out to Fred Wong. I'm looking at him. He says the Siegel and Jadakiss battle was pretty good. It was, because both of those guys were going at them on some street stuff,
Yeah.
but it always stayed within the music realm because both, the LOX and State Property, those guys, you really don't want to go to the street on either side, because it could get really ugly. But those guys, they legit had a beef with each other, personal beef, and they just let it fly on the bar. And I thought that was a lot of fun. Just listening because Beanie's nice and Jada's nice. So just to hear them go back and forth, that was pretty dope. You know, just a side segue too. There's been a lot of little beefs here and there where it will be like a sneaky song. Say like what's my man's name? Memphis Bleak did a song dissing Nas.
Mm,
What you think of that? You know what I'm saying? He
mhm.
kind of went crazy. And no, Ready for War. That song Ready for War.
Oh, wait, so no, what you think of that? What was that? Was he dissing somebody in that one?
I'm not sure if there was that one, but I
No,
think it was
Ready
Ready
for
for
One
War.
might yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when he was like talking about Nas and stuff like that. So then Nas just dismissed him, and then even Memphis Bleak had to be like, yeah, maybe I should have just like kept my mouth shut because he's not wasn't ready for the back and forth because Nas, and Memphis Bleak, the just the talent level is just too different there. So but I mean, that's what's fun about it. And like you make a diss record thinking you're gonna do something, and the other one comes through and just annihilates you, and even your whole crew is just like, "Yo, man, leave that alone, man." It's like
Yeah,
he's too
yeah,
nice for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's like you bite off a little bit more than you can chew. For example, Fred Wong's talking about, like, all bars. That's the reason why he liked that Jadakiss Beanie battle, because it was not, a bunch of subliminal messages, right? That's
Yeah,
fair, that's true, and that was a real battle. Those diss records, those bars, very good. But the flip side is these guys, uh, like, for example, like that, you know what I mean? That song came out, it kinda ignited the beef, right? We know what was said there. Then, after like that, Drake came back with push-ups.
yeah,
And when Drake came back with push-ups, he talked about Kendrick and having, think about the correlation between doing push-ups, you know what I mean? Because he saw a video of Kendrick doing push-ups before. So he's like, it's a clever idea. You got the double entendre of him actually doing push-ups. And then you got the other side of it, because you can say, drop and give me 50. Like, that's a slang, that's a term used, especially in the military or something, when it comes to doing push-ups, some drop and give me 50, right? But then the other side of it is he's using it as basically saying his label, is extorting him because they're taking 50% of all of his profits. He's
right,
giving that to his manager, Top Dog. So it's like, drop and give me 50 because you're doing out push-ups out there, and also drop and give me 50 because we're taking 50% of your profits. So it
yeah,
was kind of clever of what, and then, if some people don't realize that and understand that I can understand why this doesn't seem, it's like too much, it's not direct enough for some people, but that's clever stuff. You just take the time to listen to it. I think it's pretty interesting, especially when they get even deeper into some of these subliminal bars. Now, some of the other stuff, yes, that they talk about, we don't know. Some of these names they may be mentioning because we don't follow them that well. But that's why I say, with regards to this, if you're a fan of hip hop and you like this battle stuff, hearing them go back and forth, go tune into a channel. Go tune into one of these channels. Type in the beef or whatever, or type in the song, and click reaction and see one of these young people that actually follows this stuff and follows these people, and allow them to break it down for you. So now you can say, "Oh, okay, now I get it. Now I know what they were saying with it. Oh, wow, that's fire." See, when you don't know, it doesn't sound like anything, but once you find out, it's interesting.
yeah. That's the underground. Back in the days we didn't have the internet too much. So these conversations used to happen. in wherever we hanged out at the time. It used to be ciphers, you'd be in a cipher talking, whatever, and then that's how you get to know the backstories, stuff like that. Just being immersed in the culture. Being immersed in the culture now has everything to do with the phone now. So like you said, doing a quick search and then you're gonna find people talking about it, man. So that's the thing. That's what I was alluding to when I was talking about the whole Drake thing. Like if you don't like what's happening, you don't like what's going on, then control it. Control it. Stop letting the industry control it. The industry knows that you guys all you do is pick up phones and scroll forward like this, and don't even hit like or nothing. Don't even know who you're liking. You're just scrolling. They know that about you guys. You know what I'm saying? So the is how quick is it to actually search and go down a rabbit hole and start supporting people that's putting out good content? How hard is that? But that's stuff that we always fall victim to throughout history. It's always been a different way, but now this is the new way now. So it's up to everyone to be on it. So
That's
I
that's facts.
yeah. So I see Keyshawn. He said, "What do you think about the game diss track? Did you hear the game's diss track?
Yeah,
It was sent by Rick Ross.
yeah, yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna
Yeah,
we'll
okay. Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah. Hold
something to
on,
say
hold
about that.
Okay. So I wanted to just say real quick, what Keyshawn said, it's funny Drake said that when so many people are in his pockets. It's very true. But
Right,
that's the point. That's the nature of a battle, right? It's not Drake's job to put his business out there. It's your job to come back and hit Drake with the same type of bars. Like, what are you talking about me when you're dealing with the same thing now? Because a lot of people are apparently in Drake's pockets right now. He signed a lucrative $400 million deal in which it's almost like a 360 deal. A lot of his rights and his likeness is being used and he doesn't have a lot of control over.
right.
So it's interesting that he goes at Kendrick with that bar. So yeah, that's a good point, Keyshawn. But yeah, that's for Kendrick to prove and go back at him with. But Kendrick had a bunch of other stuff he wanted to say about that. But so to your point about what do you think about the game diss track? If I'm being honest, I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. I didn't. I not only did I not like it, but I didn't get it. I don't understand what is the point of game to me, who has nothing to do with any current beefs going on. Why is he throwing his hand in the ring? And maybe it's because he's cool with Drake, and he feels like Drake has done enough, or Drake needs to focus on Kendrick. And so he was like, "Well, let me get Rick Ross up out of here," because And the other thing too is I want to say this because it's something that gets overlooked. Hip hop heads, guys who rap, this is fun. So
Yeah,
other guys on the sidelines, like, damn, look at this. This is great. Look at them going back and forth. Oh, this dude dropped again. They like that. They want to be a part of it. I don't think there's any reason for the game to be out here rapping these bars, but some people just want to get into it. Shaq is over here with a diss track for like for, for Shannon Sharp. For what? Like what? Like guys just want to get involved. This the hip hop stuff, the beef, the battling. It's fun for people. They're like, oh, this is great. They want to get involved. Okay, Ebro, what's your thoughts?
yeah. It's creative, man. Because like putting songs together is about making music, making melodies, and selling records and dancing and stuff like that. But when you throw something off to the side, that's why hip hop is like the greatest genre because you can just go anywhere with it. So the disc records is just another layer of it, man. So I mean, he tried to go at Rick Ross about the freeway Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, and stuff like that. I just think it's corny. But the thing about it, the game has always been on brand with that corny shit. He's always been kind of corny. Even like his early stuff, he's always name dropping somebody. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna like go get me some like something to eat. I'm gonna go get some I don't know like biscuits and cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster because he just start name dropping companies and people for just for the sake of doing it. I never thought he was good. But anyway, he had I forgot who he was dissing, man. But he pulled up to East New York, actually my neighborhood and stuff. He actually was in pink houses and he did like a video. I think it was dissing Meek Mills, just letting them letting us know that he's on the East Coast and he has power there and stuff like that, gang affiliations and all this other stuff. But at the same time, then you see the game on Instagram, showing in his underwears, like with a semi hard on the side. It's like, come on, man. It's like this dude is bugged out. But I just think that the game, he understands social media. He understands how to get people to watch and stuff like that. So he saw an opportunity and he just went for it. That's how the game is, just to keep himself relevant and stuff like that, man. So I mean, he's bugged. But one person that came out the woodwork though to get at the game was Dragon. Did you see Dragon's little response to the game? Because I think the game gave Dragon a little jab.
No, I missed that.
Yeah,
That
I
I
don't know if this
missed.
is new, but it just I think the game says something about that something about DMX, and it or like you could be like a Dragon or whatever, and Dragon said, "Wait a second," and then Dragon came out and he put out a couple records, not records, but like a couple freestyles, getting at the game and stuff. So that's pretty cool. It's like that shows you that guys are listening. The rappers are listening. They hear guys talking. So wait a second, why am I getting hit with strays? You know what? I'm not gonna hit him up in his or call him, hey man, what's up with that song you had against me? That's not hip hop. Hip hop is like, yo, you said my name, brrr, boom, and then here goes my response to that. Let's see that's the way it is. So,
Yeah, I mean that's what hip hop really is. Like you hear something, you may take it the wrong way. Come back with a fire rhyme, and then I'll apologize. Like, oh my bad. I thought you were saying, well, my okay, all right, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But we get something out of it. You know what I mean?
right,
So, but oh, and shout out to Keyshawn. Yeah, no, I'm not saying he didn't say it. I'm just saying in context. Like if Drake does say something about somebody else and he applies to him too, it's for the other rapper to come back and call him out on it. But
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know he did. He went at Drake for a lot. So speaking of that, um, the battle itself, okay? The battle may be over, but what about the beef? So, when this battle happened, I thought it was interesting. I thought, knowing who Kendrick was, I thought, he's obviously once he said it's no big three, it's big me. I was like, okay, so Kendrick's in battle mode. He wants to show that he really he's watched Drake rise to the top. He's seen J. Cole, but he knows that none of them guys are really doing it at the moment. So there's a lane for him to take over, right? So why not? And I'm looking at it just like competition. I didn't really know too much about their dislike for each other or little innuendos, and I knew about the subliminals, but I didn't know like the story behind the stuff. So I realized that there've been some animosity, some things between the two of them, right? But as the battle went along and some of the stuff that gets said, then you start to realize, whoa, wow, these two guys don't like each other.
Yeah,
So
like bridges are being burned big time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm wondering, what do you think about this? Like it looks like the battle is over for now. DJ Academics, who everybody knows if you follow Drake, Academics has always been in Drake's corner.
Yeah,
And he says that the Drake is on vacation right now, which we knew because he said he was going on vacation, but that he's got stuff. He's got more. It's not, he's not bowing out. He's not afraid. He's not walking away. He just wanted a break. And he's got real life stuff going on with the shooting that did happen at his house, the security guard getting shot, and the fact that he might be putting his house on the market because the neighbors don't want him in the area to begin with. And now that you bring in crime to the area, they definitely don't want you there. So it's things like that. So what's your thoughts on the battle itself? Do you think it's over? And if it is over, do you think that there's still a beef?
well, I don't think it'll ever be over because, like, even let's say like Jay Z and Nas, they still throw like little jabs at each other here and there. You know what I'm saying? Even Nas in a recent record, he made a little comment about Jay Z. Say, yo, sometimes I feel like calling Jay and say, yo, it's not over. So they always going to be saying stuff to each other because historically they always going to be connected. They came up during the same time. All three of them, add J. Cole to it, they all ascended, at the same time to the top of hip hop, man. So they're always going to be mentioned. They're always going to be mentioning each other. And it
Mhm.
might get to a point too where they might actually do another record together. Because I don't think this is life and death. Like people like just don't like each other sometimes. Even in the contest space, guys, people just don't like each other. I don't f with the way that they do things. I don't like the way they do things. Like behind the scenes, we know what people are doing. We see it. So there could be beef. There's beef out there. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, I just think we'll just pass on and stuff, and we'll just keep on, going on with it. But these things are necessary because it just puts everybody on alert. It just like in as far as the culture, because people always talk about hip hop culture, but the culture gets lost until something like this happens. Because when it happens, people take sides, and then we start talking about OGC, real hip hop. Oh, OGC from like 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, that's I think that's the what's the most important thing about all of it.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. Like sometimes in these situations, you gotta like see it for what it is, and don't really read too much into it. Just enjoy it for what it is, and that's it.
Yeah. What's
Um,
what's exciting though is that there's still excitement behind it, which makes us feel good as old heads in the game.
right, right. Yeah. So I think that for all intents and purposes, I think this battle is over, but I do think the subliminals are going to come back again, as long as it doesn't get too crazy. And I don't mean like you know the people saying certain things. I think if certain things get said, it will reignite a record or two. Because apparently Kendrick Lamar's got records waiting. So what? you know,
I heard somebody say that he got like 15 joints that he just got in the stash because these guys are super lyricists, man. So they got beats in the stash that say like a beat that they wouldn't normally put out. They waiting, they wouldn't normally put out. So they just got like hundreds of beats in the stash. So you just grab one of those beats and just put out. That's what they do. Just like how we do what we do, and like anybody does anything. If you have a job, like if you're a baker, you're gonna bake and put stuff out, cookies and whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like hip hop, they're gonna be writing. That's what they do. So
yeah. Like so I mean that answers that question. Does Kendrick
okay.
have more in store? So apparently he does have more in store. And then, a lot of people have said that. And I think he kind of alluded to it himself on his most recent track. Um, you know, 1 through 5 or 5 plus 5, however he said it. There's more that could be out there that you need to expect if need be.
Yeah.
So that's that. But I think the other thing that's interesting about it is okay. So real quick, we'll just talk about push-ups. What did you think about push-ups as a Drake diss to Kendrick in totality, like the song itself?
I thought it was creative, but like I'm biased because I just don't like anything that Drake does. Like
Okay.
say like if like this like that back to back song he did with Meek, I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? But it was
Mhm.
more dope to me once I was in a spot. I was in a like a concert venue kind of thing. It was like a party, but they had some performances there that night. But anyway, I got to see young people going crazy to the song. So now I can see you know the connection and why people are into Drake, whatever. So I got to see that, so I get it, So just going back to the song like that you mentioned, like I said, I thought it was dope, whatever. But I just don't like him, man. You know what I'm saying? There's the way that he the way that he rhymes. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. I like to me like you want to talk about 30 years ago, like 30 years ago, I was in high school, or whatever the hell. In my early 20s, I was a certain way at that time. Now I'm not that certain way, but just hearing him brings me back to those days where I feel like I'm like 20 again, where I'm gonna start talking like how I was back then. So that's where Drake brings me to. I just don't dig him. So I
Mhm.
mean,
Okay.
what do you think about the song?
I thought Push-Ups was pretty good, a little catchy. It was a catchy beat.
Yeah.
I think what he said in it was okay. I prefer Drake when he's trying to rap rather than when he's singing. I don't really like the melodic Drake too much. I mean, he can make some catchy music, but I
You
don't
don't
know.
like his music. I don't understand. Like I don't get it. I don't get none of it,
Uh,
to tell you the truth.
yeah, I'm not big on that. I'm not big on that at all. And I did not mention J. Cole's 7 minute drill because I just don't think he's a part of this. You know what I
Right.
mean? He bowed out and he was catching a lot of flack for bowing out. I personally gave him a lot of flack because I just don't think I've seen an MC just do that and just, not be a part of something when he's kind of being called out. But in fairness, knowing where this turned and where it went, and the fact that he is cool with Drake and also has been cool with Kendrick, I think J. Cole knew what was going to happen, and he said, "I'm out." So, and
Yeah.
I don't, because if it doesn't stay at a certain level of lyricism, I think for a guy like J. Cole, he's not stooping there. He's not going to talk about your pills and your womanizing and pedophile stuff and beating on your wife. He's not doing all that. So I just think it was probably smart for J. Cole to bounce.
Yeah, like you talk about like earlier, how the guys are just different. Like Drake is like in all intents and purposes. I mean, just paraphrase it. He's a scumbag. You know, he's kind of like a dirty dick scumbag. You know what I'm saying? That's what Drake is, and then like Kendrick is on a different thing. But I think with Kendrick and J Cole are kind of similar to each other, where like J Cole is trying to preserve his energy and this, that, and the other, and Kendrick is on that journey as well. So I just think just out of respect, just they stay out of it because even that disc that he came out with, the 7 minute disc, whatever, it was decent, but you could see that J Cole was holding back still, so it wasn't like a legit rap record. Because I guess that could happen if you have that respect for the person enough that you can't really go hard on a guy, you know.
Well, and you know what it is too, Eru? Like I mean, maybe some people knew, but I really didn't know. Like I just thought it was really about competition, guys both fighting to be number one. But we didn't really know that Drake and Kendrick don't like each other. They just don't. I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna take it to another level, but they really don't. They don't rock with each other. They're two different type of people, and apparently they don't like each other. Like
Yeah,
Drake now doesn't like Kendrick, but Kendrick stopped liking Drake prior to that. So, and when you have that, you can do certain things. It allows you to be creative in a certain way. And J. Cole was cool with both of them. So how can you it's like, you know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, you have a fight with one of your best friends. Like I couldn't even I remember I had to fight my friend one time because he did something that was disrespectful. I couldn't even punch this kid. Like I tried to hit him and I couldn't, I had no power behind it. I was like, "Ah, that's my I don't know. Like
yeah.
it's hard to do that. Like I don't got no issues. Now, if I didn't like you, that's a different story. But it's hard to do that. So I think J. Cole was I think that's part of the reason why he had to get up out of there.
Yeah, you get caught in the disappointment of it too. Like, say once let's say if they did do it, and then you get kind of like you're like, damn, you really like that, man? It's like you feel kind of disappointed, and then you can get pulled back, pulled out. Like you can get pulled out of relevancy. Like that also too. You know what I'm saying? You could be
Mhm.
at the top, whatever, but by doing this back and forth, like I said, people take sides, so you can get pulled down too because Drake. I think at the end of this beef now, like I don't think they're gonna go back and forth anymore. I think Drake now has got damage control because I mean Kendrick done brought up so many different things. Also the N word too. I always thought that Drake saying the N word was just crazy to me. I just thought that I don't understand why. Because some songs like it's like every other like sentence he's saying that the N word. I always thought that was annoying because you got people that look like Drake. That are not black at all. You know what I'm saying? But they got the long beards and stuff like that and they see Drake, and a lot of people see Drake as white. You know what I'm saying? So they think that they can say stuff, just because of the way he looks, And I just never thought I never rock with that. So there's stuff like that, Just
I get
like
it.
were you gonna compare the say like not like us from Kendrick to that?
Not to that song because in just the order of in which how they dropped,
Yeah,
I think it's a little different. So like push-ups and then Drake decided to go back to back. So then he came out with Tailor Made,
right.
which just was just a really bad idea. Very bad idea. Like the song itself, like the creativity behind it, I get it. And that part of it is cool, right? Let me dish you, right? Using West Coast legends, um, and act like they're talking to you and telling you how you should be approaching this when you're battling someone like me. I mean, that's a level of when you think about it, that's a level of that's diabolical types, that's a good idea in a way. But the way in which he carried it out, to use Snoop is one thing. To use Tupac's voice and likeness without his family's permission, that's just
Crazy.
wild stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's corny, man. You know, it's like it's corny that he did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, say J. Cole could have got pulled into that, and then once you get to me, once you get that label on you, you just really can't come back from it. That's why, that's what I was saying with the Drake thing. Like, I'm talking about his voice and just the likeness and stuff. And like you said, he did that with the Tupac, man. It's just like it, like from my perspective, because I don't like him. I don't like him at all, and I don't really like him at all. You know what I'm saying? So I just have that perspective. So when he did that, I'm just like, see, you know what I'm saying, like that. So now, like for other people to see it now, it kind of like, I don't know if it validates my opinion about him, but it's just like, I'm just glad that people see it now. It's like, but it took you guys long enough. He's always been like this, you know?
But no, and that's probably true.
Yeah,
But I will say, playing devil's advocate, if you look at it, if you look at the style and the thought process behind it, it's clever. It's
yeah,
just he didn't do it in the right way.
right,
Because the reason why I'm bringing it up that way too is because Kendrick Lamar did the same thing. He
okay,
just did it in a much more clever way
right,
with Meet the Grams,
right,
because it's a similar idea, but instead of me using an AI voice to talk to you, I'm going to speak me myself, and I'm gonna talk to your family about you.
man.
So it's an
What a
interesting way
depressing
to
track,
do it.
man. That track,
Oh boy,
like, it was
it's
good, but like you
it's,
listen to it and you kind of just like,
it's
like
dark. It's dark.
dark.
Sheesh.
Dark is the word. Dark hip hop. I mean, did he open up a lane though? Like, would you listen to like a dark album, like a dark hip hop album? Would you do that?
I mean, I have in the past, like when we were younger, like in the 90s, there was dark hip hop albums. I mean, some people say the Ghetto Boys music is kind of dark.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of this stuff, like, oh man, my mind's playing tricks on me. Like it had a catchy beat, but if you listen to what's being said, I'm like, oh damn.
Right.
I found myself punching on the ground, like,
Yeah,
this is like
it's needed though. All
this
those
dude gouged,
elements.
this
Right?
dude gouged his own eye out, man. Like,
Yeah, he did.
what?
But that brings the hip hop. When it comes to the genre, it's always been about telling stories. Telling like what's really happening. And stuff. So when you hear those stories, you know that they're coming from a real place. Even like Bushwick Bill, like you said, he legit like try to blow his head off. And they used that picture of him in the hospital. He really was in the hospital. That was a real picture. They stopped to take, and they actually used it as cover art for their album.
Which is
So
crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, I mean, that stuff is as real as it can get, and that's what hip hop is all
Yeah.
about. So
So, I mean, I'm just going to say it in the way in which of like, you know, just the level of intellect and cleverness with regards to this, they both have it, right? And
yeah,
they both tried to do something different. Like they tried to approach it different than other people would do it because that's how they think.
right.
Drake's was a very big miss. Like he should not have done that, and it backfired on him. Kendrick, maybe he already had this planned, but if he didn't, then he saw kind of what he was trying to do, and it's like, okay, let me hit you with this then, and he did it in a better way. Now, I watch a couple people that watch a lot of battle rap, and when they reviewed it, they didn't like Meet the Grams. They didn't think it was really a battle rap type of song. They thought it was too dark and it had a different level. And they were like, "No, I would have preferred if he just went at Drake." You
Yeah,
can hit him with these bars, but just make it like in a battle form. Don't just have a talking thing to him. So, but when you listen to the whole thing and what he's saying, like that's how it's cooking.
yeah.
It's cooking.
Like you mentioned the talking. He like it legit like he was reading like off like a dissertation. Like he was
It was wild.
like he was trying to get into law school. And so the way he was writing the
Right.
reciting the raps, man. So
It's like the most polite way possible to call somebody a piece of crap and tell their family that yo, he's a piece of crap.
like he basically, it was like, yeah, you a piece of shit, bro. Like this is what it is here. It's like blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. Oh man, but I mean that's creative, man. I just thought that was creative.
it's different, and that's why anytime you do something different that people aren't used to, it's going to get different is going to be looked at differently, right?
Right. Right.
So, where was I? So, push-ups, then you had Tailor Made. Then after Tailor Made, we hadn't heard anything. It was 3 weeks. We heard nothing from Kendrick.
Right.
Then came Euphoria.
Right.
And Euphoria was a nice comeback. It was a nice comeback song to get back at Drake and let him know, "Oh, yeah, I'm here." And I think he did a really good job of attacking him with some stuff, right? And
Right.
so what he did then was he said, "Oh, you hit me with push-ups and then you hit me with Tailor Made. Well, Imma hit you with Euphoria, and then Imma hit you with 616." You know, just to let you know that you're not gonna hit me with a double diss and think I'm not gonna hit you with a double diss. And then he hit him with a 616. So I think that was I think 616 itself is not the greatest track, but it lives by itself because 616 is probably like you put that and Taylor Made it up against each other, but Taylor Made is gone, doesn't exist. So
Right.
616 wins.
Right.
Um, and then Drake came back with Family Matters. Now I know you're not a big fan of Drake and you don't like what, but let me tell you, man, Family Matters was cooking. I gotta tell, Family Matters had some stuff in it. That
Yeah.
first part of it was an extension of the push-ups beat, and he just kind of carried it over, and it was good. But when he got to the, it's a good and a bad, right? When he got to the second beat and then changed his flow, I thought he was cooking, cooking. I was like, yo, this is the type of Drake I need to hear more of. The
Right.
problem was he was talking about other people and not Kendrick in that part.
Right.
So some people really didn't like that. I mean, he cooked ASAP Rocky and he cooked Rick Ross, though. He gave them some stuff.
Right.
But, it is what it is. And then he obviously finished it out with a deeper diss about Kendrick hitting his wife in the third part, the more melodic part, if you will. He wasn't singing, but it was more melodic.
Right.
Um, so I thought that was a strong effort from him. What did you think about Family Matters?
Yeah, I thought it was like I said, I don't want to say the word dope, but I agree with how you described it. The little side this is too with the Rick Ross. I thought that was kind of funny a little bit. ASAP he's catching strays too, but is ASAP retired or something? He's not making music anymore. I think he's just Big Papa ASAP. I think right now.
I think ASAP just knows like his where his bread is buttered and he's making money, money, and he's with someone making money, money. He's cool.
I think he's knee deep in that Rihanna boom boom man. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
under that umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, I think his pen has been in question. Like people not respecting his bars, so it's kind of like why
Yeah.
am I going to get myself going back and forth? I don't even have the energy for it. You know what I mean? So
So Keyshawn said it right though. Like Family Matters was dope. Like I said, that dope word. But it was good. It was good. But Kendrick came on it so hard, so fast afterward that it kind of like the momentum. There was really no crazy momentum because now you had to go hear the Drake the Kendrick response. You know.
right. So if I'm being honest and just looking at these two tracks, like Family Matters and Meet the Grams, I like Family Matters better, right?
Mhm.
But the fact of how Kendrick did what he did in Meet the Grams, and because he had insider information or whatever, how he talked about certain things that Drake was trying to do already before Drake had done it. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That made it more interesting. And so I still had like Kendrick edging the battle, but
Mhm.
Drake was right there
Right.
until Not Like Us.
Right.
When Not Like Us hit, then it was over. It was a wrap. I was like, "Yeah, so you mean to tell me that this dude who, mind you, let me tell you something about me. I'm not a hater of Kendrick Lamar. I think he's very talented. I think his pen is really dope. I just don't like his voice. I've never liked his voice.
Right.
But on Not Like Us, it didn't bother me. I'm like, I could listen to this. His voice changed a little bit. It had a little bit more for him, a little bit more bass in it, so it didn't sound as whiny or what. I don't know how to describe it,
Yeah.
but I was like, yo, I can rock with this. And then the way he attacked the song and attacked the beat, and he's rhyming on a beat that people could dance to. I'm like, oh no. This is over.
Yeah.
This is a wrap, folks.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because, like I said, after Meet the Grands, it was just like, damn. Like I thought once he dropped that, I thought the it was over. But then he, like you said, he dropped this song, Not Like Us song, and then like you can legit get sturdy with it. You talk about dancing because there's people out there that did songs where they dance and they do the sturdy dance stuff, and I
It's
just if
it's
on a hip hop,
crazy.
yeah, like on like some hip hop shit though, like I think that just kind of like that just that was the end right there. Just because after all the stuff the creativity to try to go back and forth or whatever, but then now Kendrick brought it back to the hip hop stuff, man. The way that he was rhyming on it too, he's a master of different flows and different voices and that type of thing. People think it's weird, but I think on some hip hop shit, man. I think it was dope, man. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, yeah, and I probably would agree with you, Keyshawn. Like for me, like my ears, the way they that's true. Like
Yeah,
Family Matters and Not Like Us are my that's I'm gonna listen to those songs a lot. Like
yeah,
I'll go back to them. And that's kind of how I looked at it. But I just thought it was really it's just so creative to understand that I'm gonna hit you with this. I'm gonna talk to you, right? And y'all gonna be like, oh, it's so slow, it's dark, it's oh, and then I'm gonna hit you with this. That's just crazy, bro. And then when you find out a little bit more, you find out later that Kendrick had Not Like Us for like 6 months. Like, that was the first song.
what a fuck, what a psycho, man. You that's like Eminem level psycho. Because remember Eminem had a beef with Ja Rule and what's the other, the
Mm,
Benzino. He put out a
mhm.
mixtape with Green Lantern with like 14 tracks, just go, just straight dissing him like left to right, saying everything any kind of way. So he's on that level, man. With these guys are they rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like when he has nothing to do, I'm quite sure that he's just making music, just making music, constantly making music. Guys are crazy, man. So I mean,
I can't imagine, Eru, that level of smarts and intelligence to say, "You know what? I'm gonna record this. I don't know if I'm gonna use them, but if I do, oof." Like, and then that being like that is not even like a Kendrick type song, and for him to record that, make it a diss record, and it's a jam,
mhm,
and then that like, and then the other thing is what he did was he recorded a lot of these things. Like, I mean, he recorded that 6 months ago. Apparently, that was the first one he recorded. Then he recorded these other ones as he went along, and what he did was just listen to what Drake said, and then immediately added to it. So make
right.
it more like that is just oh man.
Yeah, it's just fly shit, man. That's hip hop. Especially hip hop nowadays. Back in the days, in order to put tracks out like that, you had those big heavy reels where you just really couldn't do that. Like you had to devote time, and it had to be like a systematic thing. Okay, I'm doing this here. And I don't have time. I don't even have chance to like edit it or anything like that. This is it, and I have to put it out. So now you have the ability to easily cut and paste stuff. You can do it on your phone, nowadays. So it's
It's true. It's true. It's crazy. I think if there was ever a moment where you know Drake knew that, and people that love Drake knew that he lost. That was Not Like Us was it. That was like the nail in the coffin because nobody expected after. First off, after you heard Meet the Grams, you're like, oh yeah, he's killing him. He's talking to his family. He's talking to his fake his abandoned daughter, and he's saying all this stuff. But then you're in your back of your mind, you're like, oh, he's doing it. But this is a Kendrick way of doing it because Kendrick can't really party like Drake party. And then he hits you with Not Like Us. You're like, oh my god, I cannot believe this dude. This is crazy.
Is
So
that
I
true
think
though,
that was
with the
it.
video? Is it true they saying with the video they're supposed to be filming a video for it?
Well, I wouldn't doubt it because I think Not Like Us is the type of song. I mean, I don't know if Kendrick is do it, but Not Like Us could be on Kendrick's album. Like he's working on an album. He could put this song is such a banger. He could put it on his album. And people are using it in so many if you can just take the Not Like Us part with the beat, like people are just dubbing that over and having it run in a loop. I saw a politician today. He's getting elected for four more years. He's like not like us. They not like us. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a video, this guy, he just like he's on a street corner. I don't know if you saw it, it's like a viral video where he's like rapping the lyrics to Not Like Us, but he's just saying it on the corner, like in the street. People are like listening to him, and he just yelling out the lyrics. That is hilarious, man. If he does, if they do an official video to Not Like Us, where that, I think that would be probably like one of the greatest things to ever happen to music,
I
man.
I did see something weird that I don't know if I like. I don't know, maybe I'm just being old fashioned. I did see that there was some party or something like over the weekend, last weekend, and you know who Young Simba is, the rapper?
Yeah,
He's very talented, but
yeah.
apparently he had some type of thing, and he was rapping Not Like Us, but the whole song. It's like, "What? This is weird. I don't know about this is" I didn't like it. It just felt weird to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was killing it,
Right.
and he had everybody jamming, like, people on the stage was jamming, people watching, they were jamming, like, they love that song. I
Yeah.
just thought it was weird to hear him rapping the bars. Like, "What? I haven't even seen Kendrick perform it live, and you're"
Yeah,
it's, like,
Joe
weird.
performing live. Yeah, it's just that's weird. It is kind of weird, but
Yeah.
that's
Mm,
funny though.
but,
But
I mean, the
I'm glad you brought it. We did this podcast. I'm just like some people get really serious about it, but like it's funny though. It's like it's entertainment. When it comes
mhm,
down to it, it's legit entertainment. I think like we're alluding to here. This is good for hip hop. It's good for hip hop. People say, "Oh, this is corny." It's almost like say like the Knicks. Like we're gonna bring it back to the Knicks. People don't talk about the Knicks, but the Knicks are a hardworking team. We got injuries and stuff like that. We're still whatever. But like in hip hop, like sometimes it doesn't have to be about like the superstar player and this, that, and the other.
mhm,
Superstar rapper or saying the flyest line or whatever. Sometimes it's just really about like working hard, putting out good projects and you know what I'm saying? And then just building up
yeah,
the the momentum kind of thing, and just like, I don't know, hip hop is
mm.
dope, man.
I agree. So I got 2 last questions so we can get out of here. One is real quick, is Drake's career in jeopardy, do you think? Now I say this because, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's still at the top of the game with regards to his success. He's still got tons of money, but his career has started to die down as of late. This is before the Kendrick beef. Like, just people aren't really checking for Drake as much. His last two albums weren't the greatest. Um, music is obviously continuing to change. So now that this beef has happened, and then Kendrick has kind of barred his life away. And then you also got the fact that some of the stuff that Kendrick has said, you know, people are speculating that it's true. And I mean, they can't 100% prove it, but there is some paper trails towards some stuff.
Right.
I'm wondering, do you think like Drake may be finished? Like, is this kind of the down end of what he's got going on? Because now it's like, is he a part of the secret society of all the weirdos in Hollywood? Like, so.
Well, I mean, like when you mentioned that, they say like R. Kelly. We all know what R. Kelly was doing this whole time, and it just finally came out. Like a couple. You could just go down the line for all the different things throughout time or whatever. Like the like stuff with Jay-Z and like say like Aaliyah and all that stuff. There's always been some weird shit going on out there. But like as far as Drake is part of the new stuff, like it's sliding in chicks' DMs and flying out these Instagram models from all over the country and all over the world, to remember like with some basketball player, like a kid in high school, like he went to go see his game, but they end up, getting with the moms and flew the mom out to like a stadium and had lunch on the third base and stuff like that. So I mean, that's who Drake is. Drake is just he's just gonna he's gonna try to get everything. He's gonna try to knock down everything. That's just the way he is, man. So I mean, as far I'm just saying all that just to say like is he still gonna be able to maintain that lifestyle and still have that relevancy where people are gonna do that? I don't know, man. You know, I would hope so, you know? I would hope so. This is definitely an opportunity for somebody to come up and overstep him. The next stage in hip hop, the next
Mhm.
artist to overstep him. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a point where Jay-Z and Nas they were the top, but then Drake came up and then now, it's their time. So I'm hoping that somebody comes up, because the opportunity is there, to do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I think that he's definitely he's in a weird spot because you got as the like to what Triborough said, like he's probably his career's not over, but his hip hop card is revoked until further notice. I
Yeah,
think
that's a
there's
big one.
definitely a lot of MCs or true hip hop heads that are questioning him. A lot of other stuff is resurfacing as well, like the stuff that battle rapper Daylight. If you guys watch battle rap, Daylight is one of the best battle rappers in the hip hop sport, with regards to that, and his pen is incredible. And he's already said that he is. I guess he was upset that maybe he didn't feel like he got paid the way he should get paid for whatever he did for Drake, but he's already come out in two separate tracks. Now these are not new tracks; these are old.
Right.
Now I don't know when they came out, but he they didn't come out like right away. He got upset about some stuff and then released them. But they were recorded like in 2015 and 2018. Just tells you how old they are. But the
Right.
point is, he kind of went into the fact that he ghost writ for some of Drake's biggest songs at those times, whatever they may be. So yeah. So that's one thing that's just tainting his image and following him. The other thing is like a lot of women, not every woman, because there's still a lot of women on Instagram and Twitter that come to Drake's defense. I see it. I'm like, it's interesting. But then you got another section of women that are not happy with Drake, calling him a someone who is a groomer, you know,
Mm,
kind of putting these young girls in his stable until they're old enough so that he can do stuff with them, and he's not going to go to jail for it because it's legal, but he's basically in the grooming business. So a lot of women aren't happy about that, and I saw even some women are just not happy about his new persona, or at least the persona he portrayed when he did that album with 21 Savage. They felt like he was changing and acting like something he's not, because he was talking down to women and putting them in a certain place that he never did before. So, yeah. So I think Drake, it might be in a little bit of trouble with regards to his fan base, because there's women that always rock with him that are not rocking with him. There's hip hop heads that are questioning him more and more as the day goes. So I don't know, but I mean, he'll still be able to make money because overseas he's killing. He is killing
it's the
overseas.
beard,
So
man. It's the
yeah,
beard. People overseas, they think that he's like, from Romania. He looks like a dude from Romania. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a Romania, mob boss. Just
right.
I'm saying the visual. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
those guys, they can relate to him. They can relate to Drake and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just glad, like you were talking about. I'm just glad that that people are starting to see it now. They're starting to see that this guy, is he a culture vulture? I don't know, but I mean, like he just like sees his opportunities. You know what I'm trying to say? Like in such a way. I'm glad that people are starting to see that. So now he can't really hide, and like everybody's aware of what he's about now. So I think that's the thing that they came out of this, what I'm saying? So, like, just to answer his question, is his career in jeopardy? I don't think his career will be in jeopardy, but it just will be things will be a little bit different. I don't think people are gonna receive him as as they did before.
Right. And I mean, that's another thing that he's been called that I'm surprised died down so quickly, because there's so much evidence of that possibly being the case, of him being a culture vulture type guy, how he does tend to latch on to different styles, even the way he talks, talking about mans in them and you know,
Right.
type of he goes through moments of reinventing himself. But so I don't know.
Yeah, using different slangs. He was on the reggae stuff, now he's on the European stuff now. So yeah, I'm glad people are starting to see it, because I mean he been doing it. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So the last question, now that all this stuff has happened, right? And we talked about, hip hop's 50th last year, and then kind of, where it went from there, and then this beef all of a sudden happened, and how it's kind of uh put hip hop back into the light. How does the landscape of hip hop look today? So, you know, what do you think about hip hop going forward? I'm personally, I'll say that I don't know what to expect about hip hop. I think it's at a point where I don't recognize it, outside
Mm.
of this stuff that's gone on with Drake and Kendrick, which I think has been really good for hip hop. Um, I we talked about it before. Like you brought up Busta Rhymes' most recent album and how he's rapping on it and stuff he's saying. Like, you know, um, you look at Drake's last two albums and how those were. Um, and there's been other hip hop acts that came out with bodies of work that just hasn't lived up to the standard that you think they set for themselves. So you start to question, man, if the people who do it and do it at a high level aren't doing it well, and then you got all these other people that are talking about stuff that I don't want to necessarily hear, but they're the ones at the top. You start to kind of question the fabric of hip hop and where it is and where it's going. Do I think, me personally, do I think it's in a better place today than it was, before this rap beef? Yeah, I think it is. I think this helped at least wake some people up. So anyway, what's your thoughts, Ebro?
Yeah, these little events, need to happen because it just wakes people up. Hopefully, I'm just always hopeful. I'm always hopeful because I'm like just like NBA. Bring it back to basketball. Like we're waiting for the next LeBron. That next superstar hasn't really resurfaced. Hasn't really showed his face. Maybe the kid in San Antonio, but outside of him, we were hoping that Anthony Edwards is gonna become Michael Jordan, and I mean, people are like, "Yo, that's sacrilegious," Stuff like that is happening in basketball, but the same thing is happening in hip hop. It's like we're waiting for the next, rapper to come up, I just think that things are getting kinda lost in the internet age right now, because there's like so many subcultures now. I want to say in hip hop, like say like the battle culture. There's a lot of dope rappers in the battle culture, but how can we figure out a way to get those guys into the music, to bring the music together, because they're doing battle rap, but a lot of those guys are just doing that. That's it. It's like you have to be into battle rap to even know who the hell those people are over there. You know what I'm saying? And some people are so ingrained in that battle rap stuff that they don't even pay attention to the mainstream. That's why the mainstream hip hop is kind of messed up now. So and then underground, like people were talking about underground in the chat earlier. What is underground to you? You know, um, thanks to you that with this particular segment that we do, sometimes we have underground artists come on here. So the underground now is on the internet. Everybody's putting their music out on the internet, hoping to be seen. So that's the new underground. So I just think it comes down to us, like to we have to be the ones to bring the next guy up, next person up. It could be a female, whoever, bring the next person up, and we just have to be responsible and just take responsibility for our own culture. This is our culture. Everything that we do is hip hop. Even how I'm talking, this is hip hop. The way I got my hat, the way you have your hat, the way the headphones and all this, this is our culture, man. We have to cater it. We have to we just have to do our job as the consumers and as the practitioners, and we just have to do our job, man. I it landscape of hip hop, how does it look today? I think it's okay, but I think it's all right, but we just have to figure out how to connect all these dots here, because like I said, I think it might be fractured. I think hip hop might be fractured. I don't know if you agree with that.
I think you're right. I think, yeah, hip hop is in a just a weird place, and this didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It got to this place over time because people took it for granted. To be honest, I think people took it for granted. They started to get a little too comfortable in what they thought it was and how it was starting to grow and build, and they didn't realize that the gatekeepers were, putting their own plans in place. You know what I mean? And then eventually there was going to be the industry plants, the industry moles, and they were going to, incite other types of violence and different things and sexuality, and because they felt like that's what was going to sell, and they allowed it to take over, the whole hip hop, section.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
But I don't know. I'm looking at Triborough. Triborough says he says hip hop is in a good place for indie underground artists. The mainstream will remain the same. I think that's true. Like you just said with the over sexuality stuff, that's what the industry thinks we want. But like you mentioned also with the battle rap, there is battle rap, people like that. there's also like another segment of like freestyling. People like to hear freestyles too, like people just spitting bars on the internet, but those guys are not making money. They're just dropping freestyles on Instagram and that type of thing. But I don't know, man. There's got to be a way to incorporate everything together. I do like what people like LL Cool J is doing with Rock the Bells on Sirius Radio and stuff, where he's trying to bring all these artists that we love, and give them like jobs where they can host a show, we can hear them and that type of thing to keep everybody relevant. So I just think that everybody has a lane and everything is good, but we just have to do a better job of making sure everything gets connected within the culture.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. I think, just work has to be done. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
some people, you know how it is, like with anything in life. When you see something that doesn't look right, or you're like, oh man, I wish this was different. And other people are like, yeah, I agree with you. It should be different. But no, everybody's waiting for the next person to fix it.
right.
I think that's what's going on right now with hip hop. There's people that are just not stepping up to the plate because maybe they enjoy where they are right now currently. Maybe they're outside of hip hop. You know what I mean? They're on the outside looking in, and they just like that space. They got other things. Because one thing we've noticed in this time, and it has a lot to do with the pandemic era,
Right.
people had to figure out other ways to get it going. You know what I mean? Like the hip hop shows, the concerts and stuff were stopped, and so it was affecting people's bottom line. So then they started to figure out, hey, I got to get into clothing, or I got to get into this. I got to figure out, I'll get into vitamins. Like people got into other sources of revenue, and you start seeing different money. You start seeing that you don't have to work in the same fashion. Some people get comfortable with it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the same thing, like, I know this ain't hip hop, but it's the same thing like Rihanna. I mean, she has performed recently because she got, the bag from some, I don't know, prince or Saudi Arabian person or wherever it was, but I know she got a lot of money to perform, right? But people have been asking her to come back to perform forever. But why, when she's making money hand over fist, she's comfortable, she has life, she's got her dude, she's got a baby. I like, hip hop is a struggle, and it's a time consuming studio hours, going to different concerts, performing all the time, and that's a lot for people. So if I can get this type of money and even more money, and just building my company, it's hard to pass up.
Yeah. But on the flip side, say like podcasts. A lot of rappers became big time podcasters too during this time. Also, you're talking about Joe Buttons. You want to talk about Math Hoffa. These guys they just came out of nowhere and with these podcasts and stuff. We do podcasts. So we're not like backed by anybody. We don't have sponsors and stuff. So a lot of the stuff we just doing it out of the love. So I say that to say is that there needs to be people doing things out of love too, because the bottom line is nice, but I think that gets kind of like that messes up the game. You know what I'm saying? It messes up
Mhm.
our situation too when you talk about podcasts too, because people get into like who's making more money. Oh, you copying my ideas and all this other. It gets it now. You're kind of killing the game. You're killing what's happening. So and some people need to just do things out of love from now on. I want to mention Stetsasonic. Did you know they came out with an album? I think I mentioned
Yeah,
it to you, right?
yeah, you
Stetsasonic.
did, you
But
did,
people don't know
and
who
I heard it's pretty good.
it is. If you listen to it, it's a hip hop album. So you listen to they did a lot of covers and a lot of remixes kind of in the thing, but they did it on some hip hop stuff, and they still trying to be lyrical and stuff like that. So they did that album out of love. I'm quite sure that album ain't selling. I'm quite sure it's not like getting plays, and whatever. They're not making money off the album, but sometimes you just need to just do it out of love, and then through that you would hope that it would give birth to something great. Somebody else would come out the woodwork and put out some dope shit, and then that'll be the next guy that comes up, the next female, next whoever, next artist that comes up. Through all this love projects coming out. Like Lauren Hill is supposedly she's starting to come out with more stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's good for the genre. But I would like to see like guys like Big Daddy Kane. Like when are you coming out with an album, fam? "Oh, nobody wants to hear nothing I have to say." Yes, we do. Just put out an album. You think you're gonna become a millionaire, or I mean, you think you're gonna become a billionaire off of this next album? Well, you're already established. You already did your thing, but we still need to hear more music. We just like it's your duty as a hip hop artist to create music because like it's about giving birth to the thing to keep the culture going. You know what I'm saying? It's about putting these things out there to keep the culture going. That's why these beefs are so important because once the beefs happen, people are anxious for the next day, anxious for the next response. It has a build up. You know what I'm saying? So that build up hopefully will bring somebody up, say, you know what? This beef is crazy, is inspiring me to put some shit together. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Big Daddy Kane came out with an album. Oh, snap, let me hear it. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just inspiring. And that's what the culture is all about. So, the people need to start doing things out of love. That's the moral of that.
I'm with you on that, brother. I agree. I mean, hopefully we can get back to that. Hopefully it inspires people to think about like, maybe I don't want to put the effort and time into this, but at least I'll try to do something for the culture because
Right,
that's everything. If everybody who has the ability and we respect does something for the culture, they'll definitely help bring hip hop back to where it was before.
right.
Yeah, that would be great, bro. That would be great if they look at it that way. I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope at least, even the negative, right? Even some of the old heads is like, this ain't really a beef. This is not how you do it. Okay. All right. Well,
Show me.
maybe you don't got beef that you want to be a part of, but come back and show us how to rap the way it's supposed to be done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You're talking all that shit. Show me. You know what I'm saying? Show me how it's done then. You know so much, then show me. Show me how it's done.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. So we'll see, man. Hopefully, I really just hope like, well, another thing that's good is apparently Eminem's coming out with a new album. I hope it's a good album, but I like the fact that he's doing that. So I'd be nice if somebody like Jay-Z came back with something, or some of these guys out there, like, I get it. Maybe life is different for you right now. All right, but one more, last one and hopefully you can give us some gems or something because I know, for example, with Jay-Z, he says he doesn't want to just rap to rap. He's got to have something to say. I mean, I hope you got something to say.
There's
It'd be
always
nice.
something to say, especially what we do, like the doing podcasts and stuff like that. There's always something to say. You know what I'm saying? So I like the one thing I don't like though, like we mentioned before with the Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, you're like 50 years old, bro. I don't want to hear about you selling coke on the street. Like you're not selling coke on the street. You know what I'm saying? You're not hand to hand selling crack anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear about that. Like Jay-Z is like sitting on boats with billionaires. Say so make raps about that. Like Nas was talking about his success in his raps, talking about the past, but in such a way that this is what used to happen, this is what's happening now, this is where I'm at now, relevance and stuff like that. Just to make sure you keep it like that, because like that's the problem with a guy like Drake. Like the people are starting to understand now is that like he was just kind of like misusing the culture and like abusing certain situations or whatever and capitalizing on it. What I'm saying? So hopefully people understand that about these artists. So hopefully that like if a Jay-Z does come out with an album, that he comes out with a hip hop album. But I don't want to hear about Marcy projects, fam. You haven't been to Marcy like that in forever. You know what I'm saying? And standing on a, I don't want to see videos of him walking through the projects making a video. We know you're not there, so make it relevant. If you're gonna teach us the way you tried to do on 444, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? But people are thirsty for that culture, man. We thirsty
Right.
for that thing. We need
Right.
it.
I agree. I mean, we would love for people to do it, but if you're going to do it, at least, you should do it right. Do
Right.
it so that it's believable. It makes sense because we definitely know that you, like Eru said, you're not in the projects. You're not coming through the hood. Like, yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey man, listen, I am definitely with you on that. I agree, and I'm happy to be able to have this conversation with you to talk about this thing we call hip hop, and we love it. We want to see the best of it, and we hope that it continues to get back at least closer to what it used to be. It may not, it's not going to go backwards all the way. You know what I mean? Because times have changed, but at least the essence of hip hop is its ability to be a chameleon It's
Yeah,
got so many different looks and faces.
yeah, the opportunity definitely, to like say like we used to have park jams, the park jams could come back. You see people starting to do that. They're starting to see that, like I said, like you mentioned earlier too, with the 50th hip hop, to see the festivals and see how it really is. The opportunity for that to come back is there. Because we don't have to rewire the street lamps anymore. We can actually buy, you know, power banks and stuff and do it that way and stuff. People are doing that on YouTube though. They're pulling up, to Washington Square Park and having people freestyle on their microphones. There's a guy that does that.
Mm,
So I would love to see people keep doing that, keep pushing the envelope, keep reinventing this thing. Because we're in the future now. Now we need to start trying to figure out how this thing goes going forward. It's
right.
exciting.
Yeah.
But this is
No,
should.
I agree. I agree 100%, man, 100%. So, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and rocking with us. It's been a good conversation, a good talk. It was one that I've been waiting to have for a minute. I just had to get the time to be able to put a show together, and thankfully, my guy Eru has been available at least tonight, man, because I know he's about to go on his trip. So I appreciate you once again, brother. Definitely good to chop it up with you.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man.
Yeah. So thank you guys, Triborough, all of y'all, Fred Wong, Keyshawn, you know what I mean? Looking good doing it. Diamond Onyx, King Imbert, Gary Richards, uh, George Jones. Thank you guys for being here. Daniel Berry Sports, appreciate you guys. Um, so we'll catch you on the next one. I don't know what it'll be, but you know what? It's gonna be good. Whatever it is, we're gonna make it entertaining. Thank you guys for rocking and showing love. Have a great rest of your evening. And, hopefully hip hop continues to give us some stuff that we can talk about, man, because we are excited about it. We're happy it's still around, and we want it to continue to be around for many more years, many more years. Anything left to say, Eru?
Nah, man, just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting, not only this channel but the other channels and everybody else's channels and stuff that we're affiliated with. Definitely appreciate you guys. And we're doing it out of love, right, Ron? We're doing this out of love. We love it. We definitely want to get paid eventually, you know what I'm saying? But this is the work that we're putting in to get there. And I just think there's everyone's responsibility as far as the culture is concerned to put in the work, to think, to bring up the next generation, to keep on passing on the tradition and just taking responsibility for this culture because it's our culture, you know.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, let's continue to support it, man. Cause support the things that we love and that we grew up on, and hopefully it can stay alive. You know what I mean? Because as soon as like, whatever, that's somebody else's problem. No, that makes you a part of the problem when you do that.
Right, right.
Anyway, all right, brother. Well, appreciate you once again. Thank you guys for tuning in. All of y'all out there, have a great rest of your night. And let's see. We'll see what happens next. Now everybody's like, okay, what's the next thing to happen? I don't know. We out of here.
Peace.
Run that.